Welcome back into today's video. We're just gonna talk about nothing really. How you been? You been doing good? It's good to see you. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit of update about my life and how things are doing. I will tell you, the year started off rocky, but I've learned so much valuable information that I can share to you. Basically, what I've learned, like when I first started on YouTube, my mindset was compassion, and I went into therapy, and I've been in therapy now since when was it? It was like last year. I think it was last year or so. I've been in there for quite a bit, and some days it's good. Anybody that does therapy knows that some days it's good, and some days you're just like, well, that didn't help me at all. But overall, I will say it has helped me a good deal, and it's nice to have somebody to talk to about things that doesn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. But I've always been really big on compassion, and it was something that I had to learn, because when I grew up, I didn't really have role models or anything like that. Like that J. Cole song, No Role Models. Didn't really have any. My grandfather was the closest thing I had to something like that. But I had to learn a lot of things on my own. I didn't learn a lot of things till a little bit later in life. And so my outlook was always to develop compassion. I wanted to seek out to understand people first. I wanted, if ever, and this was before I was ever a content creator, if ever I could control anything between the exchange between me and another person, it was how they felt walking away. And that was my goal. And then when I started content creation, that was kind of the goal I was unconsciously putting forth out on this camera here. But I learned that not everybody has your best intentions in mind. And also in real life, I didn't know it, but I was always being taken advantage of, because I had a problem creating boundaries. And my therapist told me that it was because something to do with the childhood. It's a thing we're still working through, but I started immediately working on creating boundaries. And I've started doing that on YouTube too, because normally, for example, I would see somebody say something, and people will say the craziest stuff. Just outright the most disgusting, gross stuff you've ever heard. They do not care. When these people get out here and they're just typing away on their keyboard, and they feel safe and comfortable anonymously behind the mic or behind the Twitter, and they just don't, they can just say whatever, do whatever. They'll do just that. They'll say whatever and do whatever, not realizing that true character is how you behave and how you act when no one's watching. So that aside, these people would just say these crazy things, and normally I would see that, and I would default to compassion. I understand that these people are acting this way because of something that's happened in their life. They're not the happiest. Something's gone wrong. Maybe a family member's died. Maybe a pet's died. Something like that. And that's where my head went. And that was not. I would always be super, super nice to these people who were just disgusting to me, and that always didn't work out to my benefit. And I've had to, both in my life and online, I've had to grow a thick skin and start creating boundaries and being like, that's where the boundary is. That's enough right there. Like, you can't say that. I understand that something in your life has happened that's made you upset, that's made things intolerable for you, but this right here, this is the boundary. This is where this stops. And that's helped me a lot on my YouTube career. As far as community building and stuff like that, I'm able to just put the hammer down and be like, that's gonna stop. Before, that wasn't there, and I would just let people just run all over me, and it made things extremely, extremely difficult. But the other part of me that brung all you guys here was the compassion that I had in general. So it was like a catch-22. And what I learned with that is you can't be too much of something or too less of something. You have to be somewhere right in the middle. And that's what happened. A good example is when there was a YouTube creator. I'm not even going to say his name, but he caused all sorts of trouble for me because if you guys don't know, you probably do. I talk to everybody. I do my damnedest because I look at career because I look at YouTube as a career and not a hobby. It's sort of like a hobby career. I'm pretty serious about it because this is how I pay my bills, and it's the only consistent thing that I have in my life, which might sound kind of sad, but if you knew the origin story, and a lot of you guys do, you completely understand how YouTube saved my life. Not really YouTube, but the community, the Rep Squad, and I've dedicated my life to and for that. So I reach out and talk to everybody. So I realize a lot of content creators don't do that, and that's okay. Everybody has different priorities. Mine just happens to be this, and this is all I care for, and it's what makes me happy, and that's what I'm going to keep pouring my heart and my soul into because that's what makes me me and makes me feel good. Other people, they got their own lives. I get it. They're YouTubers. They do not focus primarily on this, and so they do not reach out to a lot of people, but I do. I try to always be nice to everyone. I try to give to everybody a benefit of the doubt. And the good example I was talking about was one creator reached out to me once. He was very nice, and everything he said was just very, what is it called? Gas you up. He was gassing me up, and I didn't see the red flags. And this is not just with this creator, but this is with other people. I didn't see the red flags, and it was something that I had to like unlock and learn in therapy that stemmed from when I was a child to where I didn't have very good relationships, and it was a thing that developed later on where it was like I wanted to give what I didn't have growing up, which was I didn't want people to feel bad. Not trying to make this an emotional video. So when people reach out to me and they're being super, super, super nice, I often don't see the red flags that their best intentions aren't there. And you have some sort of people that's really hard to see when they're like, they can really be saying the nicest thing to you, but at the same time they're doing it passive aggressively. And that's another thing. I don't get passive aggressive things, and the reason is because of a lot of a trauma that I've been through in my life. Sometimes it comes off that I don't connect empathy, and I have empathy, a lot of empathy, like over empathy, but from other people it's hard for me to read them because that trauma that I had, it puts up a wall there. So, this is also stuff that I've learned about myself. So the thing about it is that caused me a lot of problems in my life, and things have gotten better and turned around because I've learned to create those boundaries. And I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you is you have to learn how to say no, even if the person's being nice to you. And I know, especially for me, it's freaking hard. It's so hard. Even if the person's being nice to you, you got to say no if you can't do it, or you just feel like it's not good for you to do. And just because somebody's a good person doesn't mean that they're good for you. Another time I remember specifically was when somebody says that I offend them, and then that just makes my heart hurt. So then I say to them, I'm really sorry, I apologize, and then that person might have been doing what they did on purpose, trying to evoke emotion from me. And there's people that do that. They're like emotional predators. I've fallen victim to that a lot, and I've also had horrible relationships where I've been taken advantage of because of that. And the whole point of what I'm trying to tell you is we are not going to get taken advantage of. We are going to create boundaries. We are going to learn, and we are going to become better. Other than that, if you guys know, I've moved and content's been kind of crazy for me, so I do apologize that things have been just kind of chaotic and I've not been regular, but I have been uploading a lot more than recent months. I'm feeling really good, and I feel like a lot of this changes that are happening are good, and I'm super at a point in my life where I'm super happy. And this is off script if you can't tell, so I'm not gonna edit it. This is gonna be straight shot. So I've always been the type of person in general as well, to where if I do make a mistake, I own it. Partly because it hurts me to hurt people. So if somebody's like, you've done this thing, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That's not something that I intended. I've always been super quick on that. I always take accountability. I even take accountability for things that I probably shouldn't have. That's just the type of person that I've always been, and that's probably the type of person I'm always going to be. But yeah, I see these other people that do not take accountability and use their platforms for the worst thing, and that's what I've always been out here to do, is to be straightforward, honest, and there for the people that were there for me when I needed it, that being you guys. And a lot of you guys might not understand what I mean by that, because a lot of you are new, and it's like this. I look at the Rep Squad community, like each and every one of you, and you put them all together into one being, and that's how I kind of feel the Rep Squad. That's what I feel about the community. And other than that, I guess we should talk about updates. I do feel like I've been doing a little bit too much drama. My most popular playlist on the channel is exploring YouTubers, but man, I'm getting dramaed out. So I think I'm going to go on, make videos on more of the exploring the internet playlist. I want to go back and do some more origin story videos. I plan on doing Lucifer the Fallen Angel for Halloween, and maybe the origins of Michael Myers or something like that. I'm just throwing this out here. But if you guys have any suggestions of any type of content or in anything in general, or if you have any constructive criticism for me, anything that you want to say to me, definitely hit me up in Instagram DMs, because that's the easiest way for me, or in the comment section below, because I am going to heart every single comment in this video. It's another one of those. But I'm serious. I take constructive criticism to heart. I have since learned to distinguish the difference between somebody that's just being an internet troll and just being awful and gross. And honestly, if you're one of those people, you shouldn't be. It's not good for your health, and stuff that improves the lives of others and my own. And that's how I look at it. So I feel like this has been a nice, good, solid, constructive talk where I probably made a lot of errors, and I'm not going to edit them out. So I'm catching up on all DMs today. I'm doing a lot of work off of, basically this is an off day video, and now you know what I really think. Oh yeah, my hair, I re-purpled it.